Hello everybody, and in today's video we're going to be showing you how to install your aluminum front camber block on either your Mini B or your Mini T. Let's go ahead and get started. One of the first things you're going to want to do is just of course remove your body, flex that over the rear gear cover, and it'll come right off. Slide that off. Now we're going to be working heavily on the bottom of the vehicle, first getting rid of the bumper. So leave the car like this, grab your 1.5 millimeter. This bumper does have kind of a tongue and groove on the back, so lift it up from the front and then slide it forward towards the front, and that piece there will come right out. So we'll set this aside, and then it's time to remove the 2 screws that are holding on the caster block. Take note that these screws are actually shorter than the previous screws, so make sure that those go in their appropriate place when we're reinstalling. I'll keep those separate to not get them mixed up. And now you can actually move this slightly out of the way and access that screw there to move that camber block down. Before we do that, however, we'll flip it over on its other side. Grab your needle nose pliers, grab a hold of this ball end, and just give it about a 45-degree turn and it'll pop right off. Same thing for the other side. And there you go. So now we'll flip it back over, give us access to that screw, and if you notice, we thought ahead here and we actually put a hole into the caster block. So you can actually put the tool through the caster block into the screw that's holding your camber block, right about there, in order to remove it. Now, when you take this off, be careful, because there's 2 nuts that are trapped in there that could fall out on you. There's that screw. Put the car back over, and you'll see that as I pop this out, those 2 nuts just fell right out. So now that you have your old composite, your new aluminum, one feature and benefit of this is that it actually has the grooves in it for your sway bar, which we'll be installing in a different video. But also a key feature to this is that it's still very lightweight, but it's going to provide a lot more structural support and durability for these ball studs if you see any side impact on the track. So the next step is to take these 2 ball studs and install them into the new camber block. Nice and easy. Take those out there. Now, usually when you go into aluminum or something like this, you could use a little bit of thread lock. On these small of parts, you could overdo the thread lock. I actually prefer to not use it. And there's still plenty of good thread engagement so that will not come loose. If you really want to use thread lock, be sure to use blue, not red, and again, just the smallest amount. You don't want to gunk this up. It will make it extremely hard to get these out in the future. So another great feature about this is that you no longer need these 2 nylon nuts. Again, we use nylon since it's such a structural piece. We don't want to screw into this plastic piece, so we can put the nylon nuts in there for just, again, another added feature of durability. But going to aluminum, we don't need them. Now you're going to see that there's an opening here, and that is because there is a boss on the bottom of this piece that will go into, just like so. And now you kind of hold your finger. You're going to see this kind of moving around. That's okay. Flip it around, and you're going to insert that screw. Before we do that, we'll go ahead and get this ready. I'm actually going to put my screwdriver in here first, like so. This will make your life a little bit easier. Now, kind of a little bit of a balancing act, but you could work your way in there just like so. Now you can leave that a little bit loose to give you a little bit of movement, like so. Now you can go ahead and reinstall the caster block. Flip the car upside down. And we'll go ahead and start off by, again, using the shorter screws. Camber block looks to be nice and straight now, so we'll go ahead and use that same through hole to tighten up that camber block. Kind of readjust that there. Now, you gotta be careful to not leave this crooked, because once you go and install your bumper, these holes will not line up. So just kind of use this plate here as your guide. Now we can flip this over, grab our bumper, make sure to insert the tongue into the chassis first, like so. Then it drops right in front, like that. Then I'll go ahead and snug these up. Don't want to over tighten them. You can see that the bumper's moving a little bit, and that's good there. Now the last key thing to do is pop on your actual camber links. And you should be able to do this with your hand. It's a nice, good feeling, positive snap. You also notice that I'm readjusting these because when we took them off, we adjusted them forward a little bit. So you're going to want to make sure that the plane of your ball stud is the same plane as your mounting surface. Now that that's there. Now, as you can see, we're running extreme camber here. Now that's one of the benefits of this camber block as well, is you have two mounting positions. Now the length of this also affects the handling. So we're gonna go ahead and run them on the inside, and then we'll readjust these to give us our camber back out. All right, so as you can tell, a turnbuckle will always have a groove side. And that groove indicates the side that the head, you can imagine a screw, the head would be. So the head would be over here and the threads are over here. This means that in order to make this longer, I need to turn it this way in order to extend those balls further apart. It's important to do this while it's in the vehicle. Don't just pop off one side and thread it off. These are counterwound threads, so it always keeps it nice and even. So it won't take much. It'll maybe take, I don't know, 6 or 7 turns here. And you're gonna see that this camber is going to fix itself. Now you always want to run negative camber 1 degrees up to maybe 3 degrees max, and camber really affects the amount of turn-in that you have on the track, and that all kind of preference not only to the track but your driving style. The difference that the ball stud location makes is, again, the length between those ball studs will determine kind of your camber rate. So as you go through your up travel, it's going to give you more or less camber. So again, all things you can research and learn from, but just want to give you a little bit of insight to what you can expect and why it's a good idea to upgrade to aluminum parts. So if you're interested in not only the Mini B, but the Mini T full lineup of option parts, feel free to jump on Losi.com, our YouTube channel, and see what we have in store. Thanks guys, we'll see you in the next one. If you're interested in any of the other option parts we offer for the Mini T or the Mini B, be sure to jump on Losi.com and then our Losi YouTube channel for the instructions on how to install them. Thanks guys, we'll see you in the next one.